Hello, my name is Jalen Kelly, and I am an IEEE Client Services Manager. And I'd like to welcome you to today's IEEE Explore webinar. I also have on the line with me today my colleague, Craig Griffith. He is going to be monitoring the Q&A widget throughout today's session, and he'll be moderating our Q&A session at the end of the live demo. So please submit your questions throughout the session using the Q&A widget on your screen, or click the purple Q&A icon at the bottom of the screen. A couple of other housekeeping items before we get started. All of the widgets on your screen are resizable and movable, so feel free to move them around to make the most out of your space. And at the bottom of the screen are engagement tools that you can use. You will find answers to some common technical questions in the orange question mark help tool at the bottom of your screen. At the end of today's session, you can click the yellow certificate icon at the bottom of the screen to download a certificate of participation. And you can download a copy of today's slides in the resources widget. And if you experience any technical difficulties during today's session, please refresh your browser. IEEE is the world's largest technical professional membership organization with more than 400,000 members around the world. In addition to being a professional organization, IEEE is also a conference organizer, a standards developer, and a publisher. And all of the content that IEEE publishes, along with select partner content, is discoverable in the IEEE Explore Digital Library, which today includes more than 5.5 million full-text documents. And IEEE Explore includes expert-authored peer-reviewed journal articles on a wide range of established and uncharted technologies, conference papers on the latest technology breakthroughs, standards that underpin many of today's top technologies, such as the 802.11 Wi-Fi standard, as well as hundreds of hours of e-learning courses, 8 ebook collections, and select partner content. And your access to this content depends upon your institution's subscription to the IEEE Explore Digital Library, which will vary from organization to organization. Before I go to the next slide, I wanted to take a moment to mention that today's presentation is focused on the IEEE Explore Digital Library. We had several questions pre-submitted about membership and authorship. And if you're interested in IEEE membership, please go to IEEE.org and click on the blue Join IEEE button to learn about member benefits, opportunities, dues, and more. In terms of writing a paper, IEEE Explore is a valuable tool for your literature review. It will help you prove your idea's novel. It might also help you identify potential journals to submit to. But additional resources for people who want to publish with IEEE can be found in the IEEE Author Center, which is IEEEauthorcenter.ieee.org. And links to this and many other sites can be found in the resources widget. When most people think of the IEEE, they think electrical engineering and computing, which are our core foundational technologies. But IEEE is actually made up of 39 technical societies, and these technical societies cover a wide range of technical interests. And because technology impacts everything, you'll also find cross-disciplinary research in IEEE Explore. And so I have a quick poll question regarding one of those interdisciplinary areas. And the poll question is, which of the following Nobel Prize winners in physics are IEEE authors? So while you take a minute to answer this question, I just wanted to briefly go over the rest of today's session. I have a few more slides about the content that's available in the IEEE Explore Digital Library. Then we're going to go into a live demo where I'm going to share some best practices for using IEEE Explore, and we'll save at least 10 minutes at the end for a Q&A session. So don't forget to type in any questions that you have in the Q&A widget. All right, so let's take a look at the poll response and see who you think are IEEE authors. All right, so most of you figured it out that this was a little bit of a trick question. The answer is all of the above. You can find content authored by all three of these recent Nobel Prize winners in physics in the IEEE Xplore digital library. IEEE content is highly valued and highly cited. According to the most recent journal citation report from Clarivate Analytics, which looks at how often journal articles are cited by other journals, IEEE publishes many of the top cited journals in our core areas, including electrical engineering, telecommunications, and computer science. And because the technology landscape is constantly evolving, IEEE is also always introducing new publications to address growing areas of research as well as emerging technologies. And this includes new journals on topics such as artificial intelligence, information theory, flexible electronics, and power integrity. And IEEE is committed to expanding our open access offerings. Our goal is to provide any author a publication venue, regardless of their funding status, the publishing mandates they have in place, or where in the world they may work. IEEE has three options for publishing open access, including hybrid journals, which are our traditional print journals, over 20 fully open access topical journals, and IEEE Access, a very successful multidisciplinary open access journal. The conference collection in IEEE Xplore also continues to grow, with approximately 180,000 conference papers posted each year on emerging and transformational technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, autonomous driving, ubiquitous robots, and more. And IEEE Xplore has now over 5,000 ebook titles as we continue to add collections of more high quality titles from other leading publishers. In fact, we just recently added new ebooks from Princeton University Press, which covers engineering, computing, physics, and astronomy. And IEEE is continually adding more e-learning options for users. We now have new options for subscribers to the IEEE Learning Library with courses in artificial intelligence, blockchain, 5G, and more. And this year, we're going to be producing course programs on smart cities, high performance computing, digital privacy, and the National Electric Safety Code. IEEE Xplore has a robust set of features to help you personalize your experience in Xplore. And in order to unlock these features, you will need to set up a personal account, which I'm going to show you during the live demo. But I did want to highlight some of the features and enhancements we have recently made to the personal account functionality. So in addition to being able to set up your own personal search preferences, create saved search and table of content alerts, you can also utilize the new My Research Projects feature to save and categorize documents in Xplore. You can set author alerts and citation alerts. You can track your 100 most recent searches as well as print or export your search history. And you can even bookmark your favorite publications for easy access on the IEEE Xplore homepage. Other recent enhancements to the IEEE Xplore digital library include the ability to discover trending content, watch video presentations from 2 pilot conferences, and improved citation download options. All right, so next up is the live demo. But before we do that, I'd like to take a poll question to see how familiar everyone in the audience is with the IEEE Xplore Digital Library. So please let me know how frequently you access IEEE Xplore. And during the live demo, I will be covering best practices for searching and browsing IEEE Xplore, using those personalization features we talked about, finding trending content, accessing code, data sets, and multimedia, and many other value-added features that you might not be aware of. And as a reminder, the widgets on your screen are resizable and movable, so you can click on the maximize icon in the upper right-hand corner if you want to make anything on the screen bigger. All right, so let's take a look and see how our poll question went. So pretty evenly split between the 1 to 2 times a week, 1 to 2 times a month, and rarely. And then we have a few people who use it daily and a few who've never used it. So we have a wide range of people in this session today, and that's good because today's session is really useful for people who are familiar with IEEE Xplore, but also just as useful for people who are not used to IEEE Xplore. So this allows them to sort of learn new features while getting a refresher. All right, so let's go ahead and share my screen so we can go to the live demo portion of today's presentation. Also, just a quick reminder, please do type your questions into the chat box. We will be answering them at the end of today's session. So please, as questions arise, go ahead and put them in the chat box so we can all follow along with that. All right, so on the IEEE Xplore homepage, and your institution name if your organization has an institutional subscription to IEEE Xplore. To see what is included in that subscription, you can simply go to the My Settings drop-down menu and select What Can I Access to get an overview of your subscription. In addition to being authenticated institutionally, you can also create that personal account that we talked about that will allow you to unlock some additional features. An IEEE personal account is separate from your institutional subscription and must be signed up for individually. Anyone can sign up for a free IEEE account by clicking on Create Account on the top right-hand corner and pretty quick and simple process. We just need your name, email address, password. And once you've created that account, each time you come into Xplore, after you've been authenticated with your institutional subscription, you can then log in with that personal account. And you can do that by clicking on Personal Sign-In here and then typing in your personal username and password. In addition to the personalization features, which are all accessible from the My Settings drop-down menu, I will be walking through each of those features today during the live demo, and I'll be sure to point out each one and when you need to be logged in with a personal account. But also on the IEEE Xplore homepage, you can discover trending search terms and concepts. Click on the top searches option and then select Show All. You can also take a look at a list view, and this basically shows you the top 25 trending search terms as well as the most popular content, meaning the most downloaded content. This can help you gauge interest and understand what technologies are important to engineers and researchers around the world. And if you click on any of these, such as deep learning, it will run a search for those terms in all the content in IEEE Xplore. Now, once you get to the search results page, you're going to have a variety of options to filter and refine your results. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to start with a broad topic and then narrow in. So you have the ability, for example, to search within or to narrow down by type of content. You'll see we also have early access articles in Xplore. So these are the preprint or forthcoming articles that have completed the peer review process and are awaiting publication in the print journal. We also have a variety of options along the left-hand side that we call facets that you can use to filter your results. So you'll see you have complete control over the time frame within which you're searching. You can also use these facets to get insights into the content. So for example, if we click on the author facet, we can see the top 5 or the top 25 authors by record count for our topic. So if you're looking for subject matter experts or key researchers in an area, that can be helpful. You can also identify the top publication titles for a topic. You can narrow down by supplemental items. So you'll see here we have media, data sets, video, and code. The code is a partnership with CodeOcean, which is a cloud-based algorithm platform that allows authors to make their code open source for free. Once it's in CodeOcean, it's then funneled back into Xplore, and anyone accessing that article can also run the code, test changes to the code right from Xplore. Data sets provide links out to any data sets associated with an IEEE paper in the IEEE data port, our data repository. Media is when you are looking at any supplemental items that were submitted by the author to help further illustrate or explain the points made in their paper. And then video. Video is currently in a pilot with 2 conferences, and what it is the conference organizers recorded the presentations of all of the presentations at their conference, and now the video is embedded in IEEE Xplore, so you can watch it right from the abstract page. As we scroll down, you'll also notice you can narrow down by publication topics, which happens to be my favorite facet. All the content in IEEE Xplore is indexed with keywords that best describe the content of that paper. And what you're seeing here is the top 25 search terms based on record count. So if you're exploring a topic that's new to you, this can be really helpful in maybe giving you ideas for how to narrow your results, or it can also maybe just introduce you to the different concepts relevant to your technology topic. But in this case, I know how I want to refine my results. So I can come up to the search within and type in my refining concept. There is a type ahead menu. So if I want, I can select from that, or I can type in my own search terms. And now it's going to look for my refining search term within the existing search results set. So I'm just narrowing my existing topic of deep learning by documents that also talk about Kalman filters. Now, staying current with the latest research and technology developments is a key competitive advantage. And you can set up a save search alert on any search that you run and be notified when new content is published on your topic. This is part of those personalization features that we talked about. So you do have to be logged in with a personal account, but once you are, you can simply type in the name of your search alert under the Set Search Alerts option. Click Save. You'll get a note that your search has been saved. And then once a week, you're going to get an email letting you know of all the new content that's been added into Xplore during that week that meets your search criteria. And you can always access your alert under the My Settings drop-down menu by clicking on Alerts. As we scroll down to explore our search results set, we have a variety of options for how our search results are sorted. The default is relevancy ranking, so we can see the most relevant content at the top of our results based on our search terms. If we wanted to see the most recently published content, we could sort newest first. If you're looking for influential papers that are being used frequently by other researchers, you can sort most cited by papers to see which documents in your search results set have been cited in other journal articles and conference papers. You can also sort most cited by patents to see which documents have been cited most frequently in patent filings at the U.S. Patent Office and the European Patent Office. Or you can sort most popular to see which documents have been downloaded most frequently. So what are sort of the trending documents within your search result set? So for my purposes today, I'm going to leave it as relevancy ranking. And as I scroll through my search results, I will be able to see the type of document. So if it's a journal article, it'll note it. If it's a conference paper, it'll note it. Any content that's included in my subscription or is open access, meaning freely available, will have an unlocked green lock, so I can quickly and easily identify what I will be able to download into the full text. And as I'm scrolling through, I'll also see things like paper citations and patent citations. So it gives you kind of an idea. And if any of the documents have supplemental items, code, data sets, multimedia, or video, you'll also see icons available for that as well. Now, of course, because I have access to this particular document, I could download the full text PDF right from here. But I always encourage people to click on the document title and take a look at the expanded abstract and full text HTML view. There's a lot of really nice value-added features that you don't get in the full text PDF. It's particularly helpful if you're looking to grab content to reuse in your own paper, or if you're trying to find additional related research, this page can help as well. So as the paper opens, you'll see the abstract and a little bit more information of the metadata. Along the left-hand side is the outline for the paper. So you can always jump to a particular section of the paper, which we'll do in just a moment. Because this particular article has the video associated with it, it's going to actually load a video player right here, that presentation from the conference that was given. There's also going to be a transcript option, and then the usual kinds of things where you can, do a start and stop, things like that. But here you can see how it's loading the video for me. But I'm going to go ahead and jump down to section 3. Suppose I want to just jump right here and see what their proposed options are for enhancing speech systems. I can simply jump right down to it. Or I could also search within to see my keywords in context within the paper. As I'm looking at equations, I'll be able to do a right mouse click on the equation and select Show Math As in either MathML code or Tech. It'll then open it up in a new widget for me, and I can just highlight and then copy and paste that into a program with an equation editor. So, being able to grab equations is something that you would not be able to do, obviously, in the full text PDF. Back at the top, just below the paper outline, are links to additional sections. So for example, you can jump right to the authors to see a little bit more about the authors. If you're interested in one of these authors, you can simply click on their name to open up the author details page. This will provide you a little bit more information about an author. In many cases, we'll have a bio and photo along with the top publication topics, their top co-authors, number of citations, things like that. But you'll also, of course, be able to see the complete list of their published research within IEEE Xplore at the bottom of the page. An additional personalization feature that's available, if you're logged in with your personal account, is the ability to follow the author. So you can set up alerts on up to 15 authors to be notified whenever in IEEE Xplore. Again, you need to be logged in with your personal. Back on the full text HTML page, just below the authors is the figures section. So all the figures are integrated into the full text HTML throughout the paper, but you can also come down here and just scroll through all the figures at once. You can do that by scrolling down, or you can open up one of the figures and then just click next to scroll through all of them quickly and easily. And if you want to grab any of these figures, simply place your cursor over it, do a right mouse click, and select Save or Copy Image. Below the figures are the references, so you can read the bibliography or works cited for this paper. So these are the documents that these authors cited when they were writing the paper. So this is one way to find additional relevant content, as is the citation section, which is the papers that have been published since this document was published. And it shows you who has since cited this paper. So this can give you an idea as to where the research went. And we track not just IEEE citations to this paper, but citations from other publishers as well as patent citations to this paper. Below the citations are the keywords. So as we mentioned earlier, there's a publication topics facet on the search results page, and it's being fed by the InSpec controlled indexing terms here. And InSpec is an abstracting and indexing database that indexes IEEE content. But we also have keywords from the IEEE thesaurus. We also have author keywords. For some of our biomedical titles, we have the mesh terms from the National Library of Medicine. So this section is going to vary depending upon what's available for that particular document. But regardless, they're all really helpful because they allow you to sort of view what is the most preferred terminology, and it might inspire you to change your search strategy. You know, you might have ideas based on this to improve your search terms. And if you click on any of these, it generates a search for other documents indexed with that same term. And then we also do track metrics, so how often a journal or conference paper has been downloaded, cited by other databases, things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and go back up to the top of the page because I wanted to point out another personalization feature that's available in Xplore now. So again, you will need to be logged in with your personal account, but if you are, you can create up to 15 project folders to organize your research. So this feature is called My Research Projects. If you have existing project folders, you can click on one, or there is an option to create a new project down at the bottom. When you select one of your projects, you can then take notes on that particular document. You can also tag it with your own keywords so you can categorize it and find it easily. And all of your projects, again, are accessible in the My Settings drop-down menu. So you can simply go to My Settings, then select My Research Projects. On the Research Projects page, you can select one of your research projects. When you click on a research project, it's going to open up all of the documents within that project on the search results page, basically. So you get all the features and functionality of the search results page. So all those facets, that search within option, things like that. But you're also going to see your own tags, so you can narrow down by any of the keywords you tag to it. You can browse your notes, and you can save up to 1,000 documents in your research project. You also have the ability to select up to 10 documents and download the PDFs at one time. So it's a bulk PDF or multi-PDF download option. And you can export your search results into an Excel spreadsheet or into a format for a bibliographic management system. You'll notice here at the top of the page is that global search bar that we see on the IEEE Xplore homepage. And it follows you around throughout the site, so you can always start a new search from wherever you are. And the global search is good for both simple searches as well as command language searching. It really supports any type of search that you want to run. The default is to search across all of the content, but you can search within a particular content type, or you can do an author search from here, or a citation publication topic search. But just below the global search is the link to the advanced search, which is where you'll find all of the other search options in Xplore. So for example, we have an advanced search page, a command search, and a citation search. The citation search is a known item search. So it's useful if you're looking for a very specific document that you know exists. You can come in here and fill in the fields that you happen to know. We also have a command search page, which is a free-form text box that allows you to do command language searching. You can also do command language searching in the global search box, as I mentioned. But within Xplore, the default is always to search in the metadata. So what that means is it's looking for your search terms in the abstract, document title, publication title, index terms, author name, and date. And so if you do a search in the global search bar, that's what it's going to search within. So some people like to use the command search page when they're doing command language searching, because if they want to search within a specific field or the full text and metadata, it will populate the field name for them using the drop-down menu. And the advanced search page, which is a guided way to do a little bit more complex searching, also allows you to search within the full text and metadata or fields such as the index terms, author affiliation, standard number, and so on. You'll notice there's 3 search boxes, but you're not limited to just those 3. You can continue adding until you have 10 on the page. And you can combine your search terms using Boolean operators or connectors, and or not in the drop-down menu. You can also type Boolean operators into a search bar in Xplore, whether it's the global search bar or one of the advanced search bars. The key is you do need to type them into all caps. And if you do have a group of synonyms or similar terms that you want to search by, the easiest way to do that on the advanced search page is to type them all into a single search box because the database automatically nests each search box separately. And nesting is where you place your search terms and operators within parentheses to designate the order in which they're processed. So I'm going to do CV2X or V2X or vehicle to everything in the full text and metadata. You'll notice I put vehicle to everything within quotes. That's how you designate an exact phrase. In Xplore, if you enter 2 or more terms, it's going to automatically AND them together and look for all of the terms for you. So if you want to get an exact phrase, you simply put it within quotes. The database automatically finds pluralized nouns, verb tenses, and British and American spelling variations for you. But if you put something within quotes, it turns that auto stemming off. So just keep that in mind. You'll notice I typed in my operators in all caps. That has to be done in order for the system to recognize them as an operator or connector as opposed to a search term. So I could search by reliability here, and it would find pluralized nouns, verb tenses, and British American spelling variations. But let's say I want to pick up reliable, reliability, any variation of that word. I can simply put an asterisk at the end, and it tells the database to find any words that begin with what I placed in front of that asterisk. You can also use the asterisk wildcard at the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word. And I'm going to do that search term within the metadata. So that's one of the nice things is you can, within each search box, you can search within different fields. And remember how I told you the search engine automatically nests everything that's in one search box? You'll be able to do that, see that, how that worked by looking at the search results page here. And so you can see how it placed what I put in the first search box within parentheses, and then it placed what I put in the second box within parentheses. And if I had had more, it would have continued to do that. And oh, I accidentally clicked a filter there. You'll notice if you do have any refinements and you want to get rid of them, you simply click the X box next to it and removes it, and it broadens it back out to all of the results. No matter where you start your search from, you have the ability to set a search alert or to refine it using the different filters on the search results page. And you can do the bulk PDF download or export citations from here as well. I'm going to go back to the advanced search page. I just wanted to show you one other type of search quickly, and that is the affiliation search. So within the drop-down menu, there is an option for author affiliation. This allows you to search by a specific organization. You can search on a company name, a government agency, a university, whatever it is. So some people like to search for competitors to see what they're publishing. Sometimes students who are going out on interviews for jobs or internships like to do a search on the company name to see what they've been working on recently. You might want to check out what people are publishing at your own organization. There's a wide range of use cases for this type of search. But basically, it's going to go out and look for any documents published by authors, in this case, who said their affiliation was Samsung. One of the nice things about this is you can sort newest first if you want to see the most recently published content. You can also really narrow in to more recent content if you want to see what they've been publishing currently by using the publication year facet. But it kind of gives you an idea of the conferences they present at, what are some of their publication topics, so what are they publishing on most frequently, and who are some of their top published authors at that organization. So if you're looking for a snapshot of an organization and its researchers, the author affiliation field can be helpful. Next, I'm going to show you guys browsing in Xplore. There's a prominent browse drop-down menu on every page. It's organized by type of content. I'm going to go to the Browse Journals and Magazines. From here, I have a couple of options. I can select a letter of the alphabet on the by title page to browse, or I can select by topic. You'll see a little by topic tab here that shows me 16 subject areas that I can browse by. In addition to alphabet, I can also just enter a unique word or phrase from the title. Cybernetics, it's going to show me any journals and magazines that have the word cybernetics in the title or in the title history. And I can simply click on the journal I'm interested in to go to the journal homepage, where I'll get a little bit of information about the journal, and I'll have options to browse the most popular, meaning the most read documents from the previous month. I can see what documents are in the queue waiting to be published under early access. I can jump right to the most recent issue. So what's the current issues table of contents, and browse those papers by clicking on current issue here. And once it loads, I can scroll through and browse, but I also have the option to download the entire issue in one PDF from cover to cover. So this is really great for offline reading and viewing. And if you have some journals and magazines that are really core to your research area, I would encourage you to utilize that personalization feature. So create an account and log in with it, and then come to the pages for those journals and select add title to my journals, which will create a table of content alert. So you'll get an email each time that journal is published and posted on Xplore. Then you can click add to my favorites, and it will bookmark that journal under your favorites, as well as on the IEEE Xplore homepage for easy access. And then you can just come in and grab the full issue each time it's published. You'll be notified and you'll have easy access to it. If you need to navigate to a past issue, you can simply click on the All Issues drop-down menu and navigate to the specific issue you're interested in. If you want to learn a little bit more about the journal, you can come into the About Journal tab. So you'll see things like the impact factor, eigenfactor, article influence score, and site score. If you're not familiar with these journal bibliometrics, you can click on the question icon here, and it'll take you to a definition of each of those within our help files. You can see the full aim and scope here. You can see additional publication details, including usually contact information for the editor-in-chief. If you're interested in publishing with IEEE, we also include author resources on this page, including a link to that IEEE Author Center that I mentioned, as well as the option to start your submission process right from here. And if you ever want to run a search just within a specific IEEE journal or magazine, the easiest way to do that is to browse to that magazine and journal title, and then select the Search Within Publication option and type your search terms in the global search bar, and it'll just search within that topic. We're not going to have time to go through all of the browse options today, but I will show you the browse books. Browsing conferences works almost identical to browsing journals and magazines. Browsing books allows you to browse, again, either by title or topic or by publisher. We have 8 ebooks collections in Xplore, and you can even sort newest first, as well as select a specific publisher on the Browse by Title page, publisher, by topic, things like that. So if we want to see the IEEE publications, we can just narrow down to the IEEE Wiley ebook selection, for example, and see some of those published. Browsing courses is a little different as well. When you come in, you're going to be able to see the newest course programs, which are a series of courses on emerging technologies. They'll be highlighted here at the top of the page, but you can also browse by a course tile here. So if you're interested in power and energy or robotics, you can see all of the courses relevant to that topic. And if you're interested in anything, you just simply click on it. In this particular case, I'm going to look at all of the courses in the digital transformation course program. And if I have access to it, I'll have an unlocked green lock here, and we'll be able to course and access the course and launch it in my browser. But I can also learn a little bit more about it. I can see who the instructor is, and after I've completed the course, I can get a course certificate. And browsing standards allows you to browse either by collection or by number. So within the collection tab, you'll see all of the different collections we have available. So this is a way to sort of browse topically. Some of them will also have sub-collections or subtopics, so you can further narrow down to a specific area. So for example, I can see just the arc flash hazard, power and energy related standards. Or if I'm looking for a very specific standard, I can come in here and browse by number. So for example, if I was looking for 1012, and quickly type that in and see all the different versions and statuses of that particular standard. And you do have the ability to set up alerts on standards as well by going to the My Settings drop-down menu and selecting alerts. You'll see all of the different types of alerts available in Xplore from this tab. We have Save Search alerts, Table of Content alerts, standards alerts, book alerts, those author alerts that we showed you. So all of those are accessible from here, and you can set up standard alerts right from here. So we're going to be going into our Q&A next. So I just wanted to quickly transition back to, transition back to the PowerPoint and highlight some of the options within the IEEE Client Services team. So we are here to help you and your organization get the most out of your existing subscription, and we're always happy to schedule virtual sessions on searching in IEEE Xplore, on how to publish with IEEE Xplore, or do deep dives on things like IEEE standards. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now and turn it over to Craig to moderate our Q&A session.
Great. Thank you, Jalen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Great job as usual. Thank you very much. A lot of people very appreciative for all the great information. We actually have a couple of questions regarding Scopus, Web of Science. What is the difference between IEEE and these? Is Xplore content indexed in Scopus, etc.? Could you address that, please?
Sure. So things like Scopus, Web of Science, Compendex, those are abstracting and indexing databases. And so they include IEEE content along with other publishers' content. But the only place to get the full text of IEEE content is through IEEE Xplore. So you can discover IEEE content via Web of Science, for example, but when you click on it, it's going to take you to IEEE Xplore to access it. And IEEE content is indexed in many abstracting and indexing databases. We provide the data that is necessary to those databases so that they can do this. But one key to be aware of is, although we provide them with the metadata of all of our content, they decide which content of ours they choose to include in their database. So you're not always searching all of the IEEE content. You would need to look in their help files to see what IEEE content they've chosen to include. So the best place to always get the most current, up-to-date version of record and across all the content is to come to IEEE Xplore if you're looking for IEEE content.
Perfect. Thank you. The next, we have a number of questions regarding searching. Let me try to summarize these because they sort of lead into each other.
Okay.
One is about searching for ORCID-like IDs in the system, if there's a way to do that. Someone else is asking, what's the unique number ID to search for an article easily? And then someone else is also asking about ISSN, searching by those.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I'm going to go ahead and flip back to Xplore real quick. I'm sorry, did something happen? Hello?
I'm sorry. I just am getting a message that my phone is running out of juice, so.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to go to the advanced search page real quick and talk a little bit about those questions. So we do have ORCID IDs. In fact, the corresponding author must have an ORCID ID to submit a journal article to IEEE. So we do index that content, and you can search by that by simply coming into the advanced search page and selecting the ORCID ID. We also do have the ability to search by ISBN or ISSN. So you'll see we have a wide variety of options here. And there is an article number that you can search by. This is an internal number, but if you know the number of an article, you can definitely search by it as well.
Wonderful, thank you.
Next question.
Okay, yes. So is there a way that I can resume a search if I get interrupted in the middle of my research?
Yeah, so this is when I would really encourage you to take advantage of those personalization features that we offer, because if you log in with a personal account and go to the preferences section the first time, you can turn on what's called the search history, and it's going to actually track your 100 most recent searches. So this is a great way to, each time you come into Xplore, after you've turned the search history on, if you log in with your personal account, you're going to be able to go back to your search later. So instead of having to start all the way over, you can go into your search history, you can find the search you were working on, and you can simply click it to rerun the search. You also, though, have the ability to select multiple searches and combine them with either and or not from here as well. But you can just click on the title here to run it, or if you combine searches, you can click on search at the top of the page.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, we've got some questions regarding publishing. And I know we said we weren't going to be addressing that in this presentation. This is about Xplore. But maybe if we could just reiterate, how how to publish a paper and where to go to find information regarding publishing?
Yeah, so the IEEE Author Center.ieee.org has all the tools and resources you need to publish, including the IEEE Style Guide. So if you're looking for the IEEE Style Guide, always come to the Author Center to find the most recent and current version of that. But you'll notice we have author tools, video tutorials. You can search, or you can go to a particular type of content that you're wanting to publish within. For example, if you're looking to publish a journal article, there's all kinds of tools and resources here to help you do that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Someone was wondering if IEEE just for publishing articles.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Can you say that again?
Does IEEE charge authors for publishing in IEEE with an IEEE journal?
Okay, so there's not a charge to publish with IEEE in the traditional print journals if it's behind the paywall, unless you have something like, overage charges for, like, if you go over the page limit. But if you want to publish open access with IEEE, that is covered by an article processing charge, or APC, that the authors or their institutions usually pay for. So that is the only time you should really be paying, is if your paper is approved in an OA journal, open access journal, or if you want to make your hybrid journal article open access. And you can find out much more about publishing OA with IEEE at open.ieee.org, and there's a complete list of publications here as well. Also, I should have mentioned when we were back in the browsing journals and magazines, we now have a really nice feature on that page to allow you to narrow down to just the fully open access journals or to the hybrid journals. So if you wanted to see a list of journals that publish open access, you can either go to open.ieee.org, or you can use the browse journals and magazines in Xplore and then narrow down by open access titles only, or the hybrid option here.
Thank you. Someone's asking about if there's a limit to the number of wildcards in command search.
Yes, so we currently have a limit of 7. That has been increased from 5. And we will continue to increase the number of wildcards allowed per search over time. But I will tell you that typically when people come to me with a search string where there are more than 7 wildcards, I find that there's a bit of an overuse of the wildcards because IEEE Xplore automatically finds pluralized nouns, verb tenses, and British and American spelling variations. Sometimes people are using wildcards when they're really not necessary. So you can usually narrow down to get within that 7. But as I mentioned, we are incrementally increasing those over time in order to help with like systematic literature reviews and things like that.
Great, thank you. Finally, the latest style guide I can find is November 2018. Is that still the most recent, or how could they get access to more recent style guides?
Right. So you need to go to the Author Center. 2018 is not the most recent version. So you'd want to come in to the Author Center and find the style guide. You can do a search, or it's also linked within the tools for authors. So you can find that link here for the IEEE Editorial Style Manual, and find all the different guides available: the style manual, the mathematics guide, the reference guide. And again, this is where you will always find the current up-to-date version.
Wonderful. Great. Well, we're coming up to the top of the hour. just right now. One thing that we want to mention is that there is an authorship webinar coming up on March 30th. So watch for news about this on your IEEE Xplore social media. And I'll turn it back over to you, Jalen. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. And thank you all for your time and attention today and for all the excellent questions. Reminder that if you want a certificate for attending today, you must click on the yellow certificate icon at the bottom of the screen and download the certificate. This is the only way to get it. You can also download a copy of the slides in the resources module. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact us at training@ieee.org. Thank you.